welcome back. And, well, to say, and maybe a potentially not upset on the card. I think that would be a little bit of an understatement because that was the map pick of Petits Bouffons and an overtime. HSDIRR walk away with a victory. Twiggy, safe to say, I don't think many people would have called that. And now, this entire series up in a little bit of jeopardy.
Yeah, I did say I was very surprised that HSDIRR banned out Pearl after their amazing performance on it yesterday. Maybe they had a plan coming into Breeze. It looks like they sure did, and it was just send Lear in. Yep. Put a brick on his W key and just let him do the rest of the work, because somehow Lear was able to make his way through in towards site so many times and get 2, 3, 4 kills around even, just walking on in and getting behind the players of Petits Bouffons. So, will they make the same mistake on ICEBOX? It's not really a map that you can just walk on in behind people on in the same way that you can on Breeze, but I wouldn't be surprised if they had the same kind of strat going in on towards this, because it looks like Lear is definitely fired up today.
Yeah, you know, we look on towards ICEBOX now, and you sort of expect the same things out of Lear, and I think maybe it's safe to say that we look towards the other way and think, how are the Petits Bouffons going to stop this guy? I mean, how are they going to be able to close him down, especially when maybe Loza isn't having the best of performances? I think him being a little bit quiet is making this quite difficult.
Yeah, the thing is, when you're looking at it, look, before this one, we thought, yeah, maybe it's a bit milquetoast to go for the 2 duelists, but they seem to be the 2 linchpins for the team. You know, yes, your duelist is supposed to be kind of, you know, the one doing all of the work and everybody else sits back and, you know, supports them. But, you know, these 2 teams really do put a lot of emphasis on their Jet players, and that's the thing. Now that the meta is back towards Jet, you need dynamic players, and that is what these 2 teams have in spades. So the fact that Loza really hasn't turned up so far yet in this series does give HSDIRR the massive, just such a big advantage.
Looking at compositions now before we head in towards ICEBOX, now no longer a mirror. You have a very different little setup coming through. Running on towards the Killjoy, of course, pretty standard there that you see that picked into occasionally, depending on how you want to do it. Viper, Sage, I feel like they're must-haves in a way. Sova as well, similar thing. Link's gone towards a Raze, though, so he's gone the other way, from a Cypher to a Raze. Quite the change in terms of the roles here, but I think this is definitely a case for Petits Bouffons. They've realized that at times they struggled in terms of the firepower department, and that's a direct way to introduce it and try and make this a bit of a difference maker. And they are hoping that those 2, Loza and Link combined, will be able to counter out Lear. And now that also shows you the way how much impact Lear's having, that it's forcing Petits Bouffons to really think of ways to counter him specifically.
It has been a while since I've seen a non-double Sentinel setup from a team on ICEBOX. Having Link on the Raze there. A Raze, look, here's the thing, right? Raze has always, you know, a decent amount of value, but the maps where Raze has the most value is maps with lots of choke points, maps with lots of places where you can get people in towards a small area and throw utility at them. This isn't really one of those maps. It's relatively open. It's second really only to Breeze in terms of maps that Raze does not work on. So I'm interested to see how that one works out. Generally, when you think of a second duelist on ICEBOX, you think back to the way back in the Sentinels days of 2021. Reyna.
Yes.
So this is very interesting coming out from Link, and it looks like it's going to be a bit of a lurk Raze.
Well, much slower now, isn't it? I mean, early kind of pistols for Petits Bouffons. We've seen them have back-to-back success. Both halves in that first map in their favour. Fredan does need to be careful. He doesn't realise how close they are to encroaching on his position. He'll be the first one tested. In comes that utility. And now what can he do? Actually just going to fall away as he beckons over the rotation.
Everybody from HSDIRR moves in quickly, but Russ has already done a lot of damage, taking out that Sentinel difference that Petits Bouffons, well, do not have, that they lack there. But there's Lear once again. He gets a couple of kills for himself. Ale gets involved, and now it is, oh, I was going to say just Vicious left, but there's Link with not quite the flank anymore, but he was definitely coming around from a position that Vicious did not expect. And maybe Petits Bouffons made a good choice here.
3 for 3 so far in pistols, and of course they kickstart things quite nicely in towards well, map number 2, and of course they need to do exactly that, remembering this is the pick of HSDIRR. So it is a bit of an interesting position for them to be in terms of you're thinking, okay, they're a map down, things aren't looking, you know, fantastic over towards Petits Bouffons, and you do wonder as well in terms of a more mental sense, how are they able to kind of, you know, I guess I have a bit of a resurgence. How are they able to reset after what was, you know, a rough end to their pick? You know, looking at Breeze, and it, for the most part, looked like they should have seen that one off relatively comfortably. And the fact that they didn't, then you get really concerned, right? You're thinking, okay, maybe they might get a little bit tilted. They might start to overthink things or overcomplicate things as well. So you're hoping that they have that experience, which we know they do, to be able to just, you know, reset completely, have a bit of a breathing room in towards that break, and use it to, well, find success towards map number 2. And already a little bit of utility coming through. Leo will find the first, but instantly traded.
Yeah, came all the way round to their own spawn, managed to catch them off guard. They head back. They're going to try and see if any other players are flanking round on this one. Vicious lands a headshot onto Vong, but there's Link with that Vandal. And here's the thing. If you want to bring momentum back in your favor over the course of a series, over the course of whatever, best way to do that, tried and true, gain confidence. And the only way you're going to do that is by pushing the boundaries, buying 3 Vandals on the second round, and doing something good with it. If you can keep all of those Vandals into the next round, you're going to be feeling real good about yourselves. Although they seem to have come up against a wall, so those extra bullets will do quite well in getting them through this one. Vong is going to open things up maybe with a recon dart here. Nope, they just wall themselves over it, but Lynxy finds the head of Vong. It's not one of the Vandal players, but at the very least, it slows down the team of Le Petit Bouffons by as much as they need. Lazar doesn't manage to hit a shot there. Link gets in. Fredan's there with the trade, but the spike is now down, and Fredan has a monumentous task to take down these last 2 players. Lazar breaks his little streak of not really getting many kills. Manages to take that one away, but they did lose a Vandal.
2-0. Good start. With the same start, of course, for Le Petit Bouffons in towards Breeze. Can they now use this to continue pushing this agenda forward, continue finding some success? It was a lovely little bit of individual play there from Lynxy. Should have got the double, though. And I think the fact that he didn't, maybe more or less, you know, reaffirmed the idea that it's going to be a relatively one-sided round. However, now, full buys out both ways. Hefty investments both ways, too. Even for Le Petit Bouffons. Not even playing this like a bonus. This is another full buy for them. How are they going to make this one work? Lars will take first contact, laboured spray, but he will find the opener as he's traded out. Yeah,
that's definitely, I feel like, in favour of HSDIRR, that trade there. Both losing their jet, but in a sense, if Lazar has to take that much effort to get that kill there, and now they've lost their jet on the attack, it's going to make it that much more difficult to get on in, but there's the jet back. Vong gets healed as well. I mean, Russ could not do any more this round if he tried. He's used that wall to get that res. He's used his heal now, and Cray managing to get that kill could do a lot more here. Link is there with that. I told you, it's gonna be the lurk raise, which is just such a wild concept to me. There it is, and he manages to open up A.
Hey, I mean, if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it continues to find success, I'm going to give him all his credit. They are rotating backwards with the A site, and, well, fortunately, well, to be fun, there is no one there. Vicious. Slow rotate from him. Cautious of mid. Spike will go down, and I think it's safe to say that he's probably just playing for exits. I mean, what can he possibly do? Well, look at the first. He won't get anything. It's a flawless round, in fact, in a sense, with all 5 remaining alive. Of course, a Resurrect did come through at one point, but either way, Le Petit Bouffons survive with 5, and they are now absolutely swimming. In the cash, they are looking very, very confident over towards that attacking side, and same really can't be said for HSDIRR. They will be down to a low buy for them. And sort of back to square one for Le Petit Bouffons. They've got a really good opportunity to get into a point now of taking 4 or 5 rounds before we really see a true kind of response, I guess you could put it, coming out of HSDIRR. This is a great start, a dream start as well, after the back of a, you know, I guess you could put it choking out map number 1.
Yeah. Well, if confidence is what Le Petit Bouffons needed, that's definitely one way to get it. Lear brings out his Blade Storm, trying to bring the momentum back in his team's favour. It's going to be a difficult round to win up against 5 Vandals, and Link, he has a showstopper as well. Le Petit Bouffons, all they need to do, get a couple opening kills, and they can swarm onto that site with the extra firepower. HSDIRR holding down everything. This time, they're not going to make the same mistake of pushing up too far. Lear sits all the way back with his Blade Storm. He's got good aim with it. Fires off one. Russ gets a free haircut, but no kill.
Now the brakes pumped just slightly. For Le Petit Bouffons, of course, they've got kind of everything in their favour in terms of firepower for sure, and utility too. Lots taking first contact in what seems to be ready for a dash if need be. There's no one close and personal. Race needs to come through as well, just clearing out close corners. Spike should be able to go down relatively unscathed.
Yeah, Russ stays away there from the dangers on towards site. Lear finding one, but he's traded out very swiftly. That leaves the Petits Bouffons with a 4v4 spike planted in their favor. They just need to keep away these remaining HSDIRR players. Russ does well to start things off. Out comes the showstopper, but Russ has already got that kill over towards the spike. Doesn't matter whatsoever. The Petits Bouffons, it might as well be flawless, because that was a very, very clean round from them.
4-0 already, the dream start. The attack inside, and now we see this response coming through from HSDIRR. Operator in the hands of Lear. And he's the guy we're looking for. He's the guy we're looking towards to make a real difference and start to find success over towards defense. Because for HSDIRR, they need a bit of a savior right now. They're starting to already lag quite the way behind what has been a strong start as well for the Petits Bouffons. They've got a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence flowing through their veins. They need someone to sort of just slowly but surely put them back in their place. And that's where you look towards the likes of Lear.
Oh man, can he manage to open things up here? It's going to be so impactful if he does manage to get that opening kill with the operator. But so far, the Petits Bouffons have not dropped a beat. They have not slowed down whatsoever, and they've made their way all the way in towards Kitchen already. Fredan is ready and waiting for them, however, and Russ taken down means that they lose the ability to place that wall down and get themselves a safe plant over towards B at the very least. It might be A that they head towards now. Link has made a little bit of space, but not much more than that. And as Cray stays towards Kitchen, they may not know that there's still a lurker on the side of Le Petits Bouffons. Can they get that spike down now?
And still, very slow. Le Petits Bouffons need to make a decision. I mean, numbers not in their favor, but it still looks like they want to push that fourth over towards A. Spike will go down. Vicious might want to try and deny. Won't be able to do so. Spike will go down, but kills going in their favor. Vicious for a double. No. Leaves Cray all alone in a 1 versus 4. Now 3. There will fall. Operator dropped. But it's a Vicious 3K. And I'll see HSDIRR up to there first. And of course, that operator will be scooped back up and saved in towards the next. That's the start they needed to just get things back in their favor. Get a little bit of wind in the sails to feel that confidence flowing once again. And it's a question of now, can they use that first round on the board as a bit of a catalyst to further success? Consecutive rounds on the board will bring them just that momentum that essentially saw our breeze.
Well, if anybody was a big punk rock fan back in the early 2000s, you'll know the title of the lit song, and that is what Le Petits Bouffons were right there, their own worst enemies. It was a bit of an overplay by them, I feel like, walking their way in towards Kitchen. They really didn't need to. They had the firepower to walk through and just make their way in through a main position. It didn't quite work out for them. Fredan just manages to take down 2 players. In the end, I guess they were so scared that they were going to walk into Lear's operator that this time they didn't manage to make a good strategy work. This time they are, however, going to go for just a normal, straight-up attack here. An early Hunter's Fury there from Vicious does not land a shot. But, I mean, in the end, do they need to keep a Hunter's Fury whatsoever? Le Petits Bouffons, they don't have a lockdown. They won't have a lockdown whatsoever this whole game. They do not have a killjoy, so Hunter's Fury, the only value it's going to get is getting kills, and that is exactly what Luzza has in spades. He can actually walk in towards site now. That's a big pick for them. Ale cannot slow them down whatsoever anymore as they start to move forward. Vong sends out his recon dart, oh, shock dart, sorry, to try and just get something done here, but there's the lockdown that Le Petits Bouffons will not be able to have, and they just have to back up. That's it.
Shots. Oof. Very good shot. Here we'll find the first. Lost the fall. That brings the numbers back level. What was looking like it was going to be a bit of presence shown over towards A. Now just slightly in a position where you have to question how do they play this, because they haven't got the time to rotate away, and they'll find yet one more. Link to fall. He's looking to find more, and Lear can't stop, won't stop. Can he make it fall? The answer is yes. This man is an animal. As Lear, desperately hunting to make it the ace, and Cray, tail between his legs, has hightailed it out of there.
You do not see that every day. From such a close position there, Lear does not miss a shot. That is unbelievable. He was going ham with the Vandal from close range last map. This time, He doesn't change the range whatsoever, but he still goes ham with the operator. You cannot slow this man down. You cannot stop him. You could put up an unstoppable wall. This, sorry, a immovable wall. This unstoppable force will not be stopping anytime soon. Brilliant reactions, gets a lot of damage onto Russ as well, and it's a perfect reveal to know the position of every other player on that team. He does not have to think, oh, what if somebody's coming around from the other side? What if somebody's here? What if somebody's there? He knows exactly where everyone is. He misses no shots. In comes Luzzer. He's going to try and bring things back in his favor, but he misses every single blade. Fredan takes him down. Luzzer is not having the day of his life here. He is not having a good time whatsoever. Once again, he is thwarted by HSDIRR as he tries to move in and make something happen.
It's getting a bit brutal now. This is really getting to a position where we start to ask questions about how do the Petits Bouffons do when Luzzer isn't playing well. And unfortunately for him, lovely dude. He's had the pleasure of speaking to him quite a few times, and he's a super nice guy. But unfortunately, the play hasn't been fantastic. He's really struggling to have impact, to put frags on the board or even help the team out as well. It's a horrible scenario for him to be in. I think the Petits Bouffons, in terms of a firepower thing, also start to struggle too. Lynxy, with 1 HP, makes it a double.
Oh, Russ is running for his life this time. Leah comes in with a shorty. Vicious, though, is the one to get the kill. HSDIRR, I mean, look, they lost 4 rounds in a row, and yet you still just get the feeling they're not down and out even remotely. Like, they look like the better team still, even though the Petits Bouffons had the run of the place for the first few rounds. HSDIRR, as soon as they got that operator into Lear's hands, as soon as they could set the tempo of the rounds, it was over for the Petits Bouffons. I'm not seeing anything from the Petits Bouffons that makes me think, yeah, these guys are going to come back into this. HSDIRR have all the momentum. They have all the confidence.
No, agreed. I mean, and that's exactly it. I mean, this looks like it's very positive. Well, it started really well for the Petits Bouffons, and they were thinking, okay, hang on, boys, we turned it around. I mean, this is great. Now it's not looking so good. And I think the thing that makes it so scary is, I mean, it's very easy to bring his name up, but you just have to, is that Lear is having just one of those days. Lear is, I'd probably even throw out there mechanically, maybe top 3 in the entire region for Polaris. I don't think that's even too much of an overstatement. If you're looking at, even including the likes of the Apex and your focuses, Lear just, on an individual note, just is an animal. And, well, so far he's showing exactly why his name should be feared when you're in the server against him, because it has just been stunning. Time well done. HSDIRR, they are on a triumphant run. 3 consecutive rounds on the board. The Petits Bouffons starting to fall behind. You're looking over towards them in terms of how they're going to change their fate. And unfortunately, Vong only got a sheriff to work with. Alongside, yes, a full buy. But for him, individually lacking in terms of firepower.
Yeah. And after the performance of HSDIRR over the last few rounds, as the Petits Bouffons, what are you thinking at this point? This is not an easy position to be in. Maybe you're thinking, I regret picking that raise. I regret not having a lockdown this round to work with. Because now they have to get in off their own volition. They have to use those duelists to get in towards site. If they cannot use those double duelist compositions to get something done, there's nothing to fall back on. You need to be getting that done. You need to be getting opening frags. And so far, they are not. And you can see that Link has given up on lurking, on trying to get value late in rounds, because he needs to help Luzzer out. Luzzer is not getting things done by himself. You need to be able to slow them down yourself. Out come Le Petits Bouffons, but HSD just give them the site. They're going to try and take it back from them by force. Fredan sprays down the wall, and he'll take a Cray as well. Vicious takes down Russ. It's almost all over already in this fight. Vong and Luzzer, they're the last 2 left. Can Luzzer bring out the same efficacy with the operator that his rival did? Lynxy takes out Vong. It's a 1v5. Luzzer isn't looking behind him. Fredan takes him out. HSD with a flawless round. It's not even difficult for them.
Yeah, what a round once again. It's not even close, is it? This is now getting extremely worrying. We're looking over towards Le Petits Bouffons and thinking, these guys can't even get a stranglehold at all on their individual 50-50s. We're not seeing anything go in their favor. I think, again, I don't want to be the guy while he's down, but for Luzzer, where he's struggling, you actually have to look towards the other 4 on this side. And someone else has to step up and make a difference. Someone else has to be, the guy to pull this side out of the ruins right now. And maybe you look towards the likes of Linked on towards the Rays. you know, with Link now playing that duelist, he can kind of fill the gaps that maybe Loz is struggling in a way and try and make something work in that favor. But yeah, so far, I think for Petits Bouffons, they are in a horrible, horrible scenario where now not only do they have a, you know, a map disadvantage and this game's tied square, everything is looking so good over towards HSDIRR. There's a real good world in which this can just continue to get worse and worse as Lear will find the first.
Will he ever stop? He's sent them packing once again. You want to go towards mid? Nah. You want to go towards A? Nah. B? Nah. You're not getting anywhere. No matter where Le Petit Bouffon think we can get an advantage here, we can try and make something happen here. Lear stops them in their tracks and more, sends them home. He has been unbelievable. We're 8 rounds in and we're already saying, wow, Lear MVP.
Yeah. Oh,
because this man has made his case and more already. There's nothing Le Petit Bouffon can do against him, the rest of the team backing him up perfectly. But in the same breath, I have to say, oh my god, Linksy, he's ready for Fong to come round, and he hits the shot with no problem whatsoever. Link, Russ, trying to make their way through, but HSDIRR have their numbers. They're making sure they're not getting that spike on the ground whatsoever. Cray comes round with that flank from mid. He manages to get one, but he's still got 3 players to deal with on HSDIRR. Russ hiding round a corner on site. He doesn't dare to start putting that spike down just yet because Cray, he's now run out of Toxin. And in comes HSDIRR on this one. Cray manages to get 1 more kill, but he's only got 5 HP. Can they keep Lear at bay for just a second longer, for just a round longer? Linksy gets through. He's found one. There's only 12 seconds left in the round. Rush is going to have to start to press 4 at some point here. He finds the head of Linksy, but he's still got Lear to deal with, and he's not missing that any day of the week.
Lear is a man possessed right now. This guy is on some emphatic form. And Le Petit Bouffon, everything they throw at them, and individually Lear too, he always comes out on top. This is stunning. Seriously, seriously good. He opens things up and he closes it out as well. That's the Lear effect. Always so reliable, so consistent. Petits Bouffon can't do anything to stop him as much as they had an individual step up in their own regard. Cray looked great. Wasn't great enough. The lead goes in favor of HSDIRR. That is 5 rounds on the trot. Petits Bouffon, they are in a extremely worrying position that they are starting to quite considerably lose control of this game and this series.
I mean, look, he's walking into their spawn with an operator. Link, what can he do? Oh no, what can his boombot do? It turns around on a dime. It sends him back towards A, but at least he hasn't lost his life. That's all that really matters for HSDIRR at this point. Link has gone back to sitting on the other side of the map to the rest of his team. Luckily, his boombot has done a lot of work in clearing space and just making sure that HSDIRR don't get too ahead of themselves, but he's not able to capitalize and get that kill. And that really could come back to haunt the team of Le Petit Bouffon. As you can see, they're slowed down so much. So far, they've been stopped every time they try and make an attack happen. You can see the way that that is affecting them mentally as Russ is trying to make his way in towards B, waiting for the Toxin screen to come back up, waiting until he has all utility ready, until Lazar is right behind him, until the conditions are perfect to get in towards site and get that spike down. Bong brings out his Hunter's Fury to try and make space, but it doesn't do any damage. It doesn't slow down HSDIRR's re-aggression on this one whatsoever. Out comes the Blade Storm for Lear. He's done well with the operator. What can he do with that Blade Storm out now as the spike is down and it's a 5v5? These are the best conditions that Le Petit Bouffon have had so far this game to try and win this round. Out goes that showstopper. He tries to get 1 kill. He takes out Lear. That's the big one. That's what matters. But Linksy moves in. He finds 1 more for his team. It's a 2v4. It's still winnable here for HSDIRR. And if they can take this one, that will be so effective at keeping Le Petit Bouffon at bay. But it's not happening this time. Vicious now in a 1v4. Just trying to get something done. But he's got no time whatsoever. There's Cray. He evens things out.
It was messy.
Le Petit Bouffon can breathe for a second.
So messy, wasn't it? My gosh. I mean, yeah, like you said, right, I think it's just a little bit of breathing room. They've tied the game back up. It was 5 in a row from HSDIRR, and you're thinking, oh my god, I mean, this could be a brutal ending. You know, we could even be looking at an 8-4 half before things get out of our hand. But I guess thankfully for Le Petit Bouffon, they are able to claw some success. But the fact that it is so messy from them, I don't think it's really something that they can continue to replicate. So that's what really does kind of make me a little bit more concerned. How often can they kind of replicate that sort of chaos and, use it in their favor? Working towards mid. just to deny a little bit of that presence coming through for HSDIRR. As Lynxy wants to take first contact. Will be tagged up by the Aldrone. It's going to fall away. Oh my god, Lear. Every single time. Look at this fate and info he's got already.
Takes out the... And he knew it was the lurker to begin with because he got caught out by that boombot last round, so he goes in again. He doesn't make the same mistake. He gets that kill. That's all that matters. Fredan almost finds that headshot, but he just does not manage to get that kill. Brings it down to a 4v4. Le Petits Bouffons have decided B is the place. B is the only place we can get enough value with the open space. With the no lockdown means that we're not getting into A whatsoever. And Lear is watching over us like a hawk. There's no way to do that. But now Lear is away from the rest of his team, and HSDIRR have to hold on by themselves and keep this round going so that he can get back underway. But maybe Arle can just hit heads, and it doesn't matter whatsoever. Now, LBP. The Petits Bouffons need to push them away. Cray doesn't get anything done. Lynxy sprays down the last two players. And although they lost the last round, they have not lost any momentum whatsoever.
Not at all. This has been stunning. Really, really good work from HSDIRR. Questions that really start being asked over towards Le Petits Bouffons about how in which they go about ICEBOX. I mean, we're already at a point now with HSDIRR, they've guaranteed that they're going to be at the very least at a tie going in towards that second half. And on top of that, we're seeing this side have, you know, so much more confidence and this ability to win out their aim duels. And at times you see individuals step over towards Le Petits Bouffons, but it's just never really consistent. And all I've got to say, that first shot was pretty sumptuous and did set the tone. Now, a storm popped, so... Loza, what can he make work with the knives out? Only got a stinger in the back lines too. Ole's going to get pressured, and he might fall on the doors. Yes, he will.
That was a confident play from Arle, and he does not make it work. Fredan taken out by Loza with the Blade Storm, but there's Vicious. He manages to get that trade. He sees the head of Russ. He sprays him down. Now the rest of the team can move in. Lynxy coming round from behind. That's going to do a lot of work later on in the round. There's one lurk there for Le Petits Bouffons. Cray holding down mid, just trying to make something happen. Coming round from behind. He may be able to get something done. Lynxy, though, he's quicker on the flank, and he manages to get one before Lear even has to move in and get stuff done. They've cleared everything now, and he's just walking all the way along this tightrope, getting that done, and there's the shorty from above, giving Vicious enough space to get that defused. 7-5 in the half for HSDIRR, and you can look, you can say all you want about how close the game is, but HSDIRR feel like the more aggressive team, the more impressive team, the more it's a beauty to watch some of these plays.
No, it is. It really is. I mean, this has been a really stunning display, and so far, Trem is the only one getting a point off.
I think he knows
this.
something we don't.
Do you know what's really annoying as well? I actually had HSDIRR last night, and I changed it to Le Petits Bouffons, which really is gonna. If it goes the wrong way, it's really gonna annoy me because I had HSDIRR locked in from a few days ago. Then last night I was looking for. I was like, no, Le Petits Bouffons, good form right now, 2-0. I'll change it to them, and I should have stuck with my gut, man. I did that prediction way before the season even started, so I should have stuck with the gut. But I mean, I got to give them the flowers. I think HSDIRR have been really, really solid. Both defender side and attacking side, it's just been so consistently great. How do you stop a man like Lear? I think is the big question. How do you stop this guy who is on the form of his life right now? I have no idea.
How do you solve a problem like Lear? That is the question. It actually works. It rhymes with Maria. That's pretty good. I'm going to use that again. Link. He's able to solve that problem, though. He moves in. He's managed to find that pick, but the rest of the team, they've already converged on A. They're just going to try and keep that push going. Arle makes his way in. That puts Loza in a lot of pressure, and he's taken down two. Neither duelist still alive, but there goes Fong. And sorry, I forgot Le Petits Bouffons had two duelists here, and they're able to put that to good use. Now it's just Fredan. He's done a lot of work already this game. Can he make this happen? No, he cannot. Russ able to find the double dink there with the classic. And Le Petits Bouffons give themselves just... Well, they're keeping within range of HSDIRR, and that's the impressive part to me.
Yeah, the most kind of important thing you look towards Le Petits Bouffons is just their ability to just keep at least an arm's reach over towards HSDIRR, and in doing so, actually, it gives them the slightly more stable economy, I'm going to put it. You know, of course, with a pistol under their belt, it means that they are going to have significantly more firepower coming in towards the next, and hey, I mean, that's what we're going to see. Just pistols, HSDIRR to work with, but... We've already seen it once, Twiggy. I'm not going to count out the Sheriffs just yet because we kind of know what these guys can do with them, especially, of course, as we had to talk about Lear. We know what he can do, but he has to get a lot of damage early doors.
Yeah, it's going to slow them down. The problem is, unlike Le Petits Bouffons last map, where they had made that gap up and, you know, they had better economy, whatever. They felt like they could sit on their haunches a little bit. Turns out they couldn't, but they really did have, you know, enough rounds in hand that they could kind of just wait, not have to buy up too much into these rounds. For HSDIRR, that's not the same case. They do need to keep the pressure on no matter what. They can't just sit back and let themselves gain economy so that they can come back as one strike and get things done. They do need to keep the Petits Bouffons working for every single round, because they're only one round ahead at this point. So, no matter what they do here, they do need to find picks. They do need to slow down the Petits Bouffons' gain of momentum, because who knows, they might just be an amazing defensive team here.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Wait, right? Snakebite just to keep them in their place for the time being. They have made their way in towards kitchen, though. They are starting to slowly take some control there. Bong's going to be tested. Russ and Lear go one apiece. How do they manage to overcome this one? Bong going to be pushed back, and from behind, Cray needs to be careful. If he falls, this gets dicey, but the spike will be dropped, and so will Lear.
It's just about good enough from Cray to get things done. It looked a little bit scary there, but with 13 seconds left, I think the Petits Bouffons can be quite secure in winning this round. Linksy, target range. Oh, let's go back to the aim trainer there, maybe a little bit. What can I say? I'm ascendant. That's.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can't speak at all. There's no way I have any of the call here. That did get a little bit dicey, I've got to say. When Lear falls, you're thinking, okay, you know, that's maybe seen it off. Before that, though, I was a little bit worried that maybe that would have been done and dusted and would have been in a position where we're thinking, okay, hey, maybe the Petits Bouffons might fall flat here. HSDIRR, though, all tied square. Now we see a full buy.
Okay, here's where it comes back for HSDIRR. Rounds are even, but they have the better economy here. Ale maybe only with a Bulldog, but the rest of the team are really what matters here. Lear, as long as he can get some kills, that's going to be massive. Fredon has already proven that he's able to keep away anything massively, you know, out there from the Petits Bouffons, but there is Link, and so far he is making up for, well, I mean, Luzza hasn't been playing as badly this map, but still, Link is the more effective duelist right now. He's really making it work. You can see that at the start of this round, managing to get that first pick onto Lear, slowing down HSDIRR and taking away their most effective player.
Well, very kind of a slow tempo being set here. Look for the first engagement. This is laboured. That's messy from Link. You gotta hit those. Links your punish. Now the numbers brought level once again. As Ross, let's take a little bit of space here. And once again, Links your step up with yet another kill.
Well, it's what we expect looking at the buys for both teams, but it's still definitely good. In jail is Cray, but he breaks his way out.
30 seconds left.
He's got a spoon and a lot of energy, and he's able to just dig his way out the walls there. Although, you know, it's not really a jail. There is an open side to it. You can just walk out. But then again, you know, your mind is a jail that you can just walk out of. So, you know, allegories and all that. It moves the Petits Bouffons. They don't have a great buy coming into this one. We'll reiterate that. Linksy has been holding this down, and he's been... Oh, amazing for the team! Ale puts a wall down, but it's a little too late. And Vong is able to find his head, no problem whatsoever. 2v2 as they move in. The spike ticking down. Vicious with a good angle. Linksy able to find the head, though. 3 kills for him this round. Looking to make it 4 as Luzza moves in. Can he step up to the plate this time around? Can he hit those shots? Can he get that spike defused? He's able to find the head of Linksy, no problem. Smoke goes down. He walks on through, but Vicious keeps it alive. It's not an easy round for HSDIRR, especially looking at what they were coming up against, but they get it to work, and they can carry on with that momentum.
Yeah, I mean, geez, that was fine margins. I think that's probably the better way to put it. That got extremely close. I'm thinking, once again, that's an eco round converted. The economy starts going to a full reset. Ale gets super unlucky, I gotta say. If he gets that wall down and doesn't fall, different story. That round's seen off. They're gonna pinch it into one corridor, and they can just, you know, focus all their attention there. But the fact that Ale falls and it's down to 2 versus 2, it got extremely close. And credit to Luzza, he made that competitive when it really shouldn't have been in terms of the differences in firepower. So I've got to give him his credit. Alrighty though, HSDIRR up to 8. And the spike will go down relatively uncontested. It's a 5-on-5 retake, not to be. Lear will fall.
Oh, Lear has not had the impact that he has had so far in the last, 30 minutes of gameplay right now in the start of this half. But luckily, the rest of his team, they're backing him up. and they're able to keep the game alive when he does go down first. That's the risk you run as a Jet. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of first spots, but you're also going to get a lot of first deaths if you're not paying attention. This time, though, Luzza, he has an operator. Can he put it to good use? Russ taken down by Lynxy now, but Luzza comes around from all the way in his own spawn. There we go. Takes down Arle. He's got the operator in hand. Can he put it to a little more? 3 players left of HSDIRR to take out. Now the spike's on the ground, and Lynxy, you can see his head pop up there. Luzza had absolutely no time to make that shot happen, and now it's just Link left. He's done well so far on the raise, but a 1v3 in that position, it's a tall ask.
Asking a lot of him. I think for Link as well, we kind of wondered what he could do on the duelist. This would be a good time to set the tone. Unfortunately, not to be. Vicious, great round. 3 kills to his name. HSDIRR starting to once again just create a little bit of breathing room, create a gap, and this should be them guaranteeing double digits. The buy over towards Petits Bouffons is going to be dicey. It's going to be a little bit funky coming in towards this one. Maybe a bit of a hero play coming through here. Crate, he's just going to invest in towards a stinger alongside that. Relatively minimal. And unfortunately as well, for Luzza, he can't even, opt in towards the Blade Storm, and even picking up 1 orb won't be enough. He needs a couple of kills to his name before we can see a Blade Storm come out. So, HSDIRR, they come into this one. Really strong positions. Early bits of utility come through as they want all of this control. They're taking it aggro too.
Luzza up close, shorty. Can he do the work with that one? Lyra's already hit about as good as a shot as you can with a shorty from above. Can he do something similar to that one, I wonder? HSDIRR walking straight into that trap, if anything. Unrevealed. Oh, but Lear's already there. He's making sure the Petits Bouffons don't get away with anything a little too out there. The flank is attempted. It's not worked out whatsoever. Link's still there, but Lear is still watching. And here's the thing. If you're watching mid from this position, you're completely safe from that flank from B. As long as he checks it every now and then, Link can't really do much at all, if anything. He needs to get close enough that Lear can hear him if he wants to get a kill. Oh, but that timing might be a little awkward. Link turns around the corner right as Lear gets in towards A. And now HSDIRR are going to make an attack happen. Luzza, can he get anything done with that shorty? He's in close. He hasn't made a sound yet. Nobody knows he's there. There's 2 players ahead of him. But there's Arle. He manages to check the corner just before they get that spike down. And that does give them that free kill. Cray managing to find one with a stinger. But it's pretty much all over. Link is going to have to do a lot with this. Unless he brings a showstopper out with the Sheriff.
Yeah, I feel like the showstopper actually won't be worth it. Try and use it on a bit more of a surefire round. He will fall down to Lynxy. There we go. 3-round lead. Double digits as well for HSDIRR. They are on the home straight right now. It's like a bit of a one-way path to seeing this one off. What a performance it's been from them as well. I think a lot of people would have came in towards this game and in towards this series thinking, realistically, there should only be one winner. It should only be... shouldn't be a Petits Bouffons, I say, kind of walking away with it. The better names, the more experience under their belt too, but HSDIRR have shown them 0 respect. In the same way, the Petits Bouffons said they're not going to show anybody respect. Yeah. HSDIRR have done exactly that. Taken fights, taken engagements, not giving them space. Power in a spot as well. That got extremely close, and I think Ross knows all too well. Hunter's Fury comes out online. Will they find anything?
Take flight.
Looking like a no.
Oh, Lear uses his own smoke there just to make sure that Vong isn't finding anything too early. Doesn't see him, but I'm pretty sure they know he's up there still. They're not letting him leave for the time being, but, well, they've stopped looking at it now because they probably heard some footsteps. Over to... Oh, there it is. Lear opens things up again. Operator in hand. In the same way that we saw Luzza attempting to make an attacking operator happen last map. HSDIRR and Lear have just gone, here's how it's done. You know what? I'll give you a free lesson. Here we are. We're in the server together. We're peers. I respect you. I'm going to give you a free lesson. A free bit of coaching on how to do an attacking operator. Here you go. And he shows that lesson in the form of a bullet to the face. So, Lear, again, he's just holding this position. You can see that Petits Bouffons really don't challenge the position. Thank you, Vong, for making me look like an idiot. Very good, very good, very good. But HSDIRR on the other side of the map, they can start to move in now. Vong is on fire! He's hitting shots. That's his 3rd in the round. Vicious trying to get in. Lynxy comes round. Oh, Vong knew he was there, but he doesn't manage to hit that shot in time, making it a 2v2 now. 16 seconds left on the timer. They need to get that spike down, but as soon as that sound cue comes out, out goes the paint grenade. Link.
10 seconds left.
Now just needs to stop Vicious from planting. Has the spike in his hand. That'll do it. Showstopper comes out. Spike isn't down. That means that Vicious needs to get these 2 kills. It's not going to happen. He's just going to have to save up this Vandal at the end of the round. A little too late for HSDIRR there.
I guess that, you know, you look over towards Link and you're thinking, okay, you know, he burned the Showstopper, but it actually denies the only real safe plant in big quotation marks that he could have gone for there. So I think it's actually, you know, really well used in a way. Vong stepped up. Needed someone to do it, and I think at times you look towards Le Petit Bouffon and thinking they always kind of, you know, when we see Le Petit Bouffon find success, it's kind of one of those weird scenarios where a lot of it is off the back of kind of one individual stepping up and making a difference. And I know we've said the same argument time and time again over towards HSDIRR, but it's not always the Link, the Lear show, because Link's got his moments of brilliance too. Arley's been, you know, really able to step up, and well, he sung his praises. What's Lear going to do now? Loza would just get on a dodge as he was being pressured by the Blade Storm.
I don't know how many blades Lear has left, but you've got to think as long as he still has 1 in his hand, there is a chance he'll get back to 5 there. Loza got stuck in maze for a second, but a well-placed smoke managed to get him out of that position without too much of a problem.
You should run.
Now goes the lockdown. For HSDIRR, it's something, it's a luxury that Le Petit Bouffon do not have, but oh dear. That is not the correct place to put that Hunter's Fury. It does no damage to the lockdown whatsoever. And Le Petit Bouffon have to back up all the way and let HSDIRR in for free. Cray had the best angle to be able to get a kill there, but does not convert it whatsoever. Loza looking for a clip there, but does not manage to hit the shot on the revealed player through the billboard. Oh dear.
Oh dear indeed.
3v4.
That's one way of putting it. From a buy which was maybe slightly janky. Resurrect will come out of line though, to Cray back in the conversation. Already trying to close down a little bit of that space as Lear wants to go aggro. How will he be able to isolate the fight here? He's got some support around the corner, but it's getting a little bit dicey. First goes his way. Blazdome comes back out as well, but to very little effect.
Fredan 1 versus 2 now, and we've seen what they can do, but Fredan jumps up instead of taking the corner normally. Cray manages to find the head. Le Petit Bouffon edge themselves 1 round closer to equalization here with a 10-9 scoreline. Loza seems to be coming back into form as he's picked up that operator.
Yeah. Only 1 round in it. I mean, in the same way Breeze was, this is an extremely even affair. And actually, they're kind of in the same way Breeze was, but vice versa. What started well for HSDIRR is now slowly starting to look like we're seeing positives come out of Le Petit Bouffon, where we're thinking maybe they can get some control over the momentum. I mean, that's 2 rounds on the trot. A third here would tie them up 10-all. And then they really could be on the path to seeing this one off, because it could break that economy over towards HSDIRR. So, all in all, there's a lot of positives for Le Petit Bouffon when maybe we haven't seen too many this entire series. Ross, take a first contact. We'll just fall away off the back of it. Might take a fight in a moment as well, as Lear having a little look in as well.
Well, Lear still has up that dash, can get away. But Le Petit Bouffon are not tempting fate here. They're backing up. They put up a wall even to slow down HSDIRR as they move in here. Link still at yellow, still waiting for a bit of contact before he can try and move away. Keep in mind, it's not going to be easy to move away. As Ray's here, he only has 1 satchel pack to get out of that position if he does get seen, but he's just going to use that smoke and get out of there. HSDIRR have managed to push back their defenders at this point, but they still need to take that space. They still need to get that spike down, and with 50 seconds left, they need to make a decision soon.
Very quiet now with 40 seconds to work with. As you mentioned, here's where they pull the plug. Flying out over towards the B side, looking to try and take first contact, as well as HSDIRR closing in on the space. Who will fall first? Might set that tempo just a little bit. And Le Petit Bouffon, they're respecting them. They're giving them space.
Russ trying to hold that corner. Down starts the plant, but it's a fake. It's going to try and pull out some utility from the Petit Bouffon, but instead Russ just walks around the corner and sprays through the toxin screen, finds 1 kill. What a spray transfer! Vicious, what are you doing? You madman! Manages to get 3 kills from that open position there, and that is opening the door for the rest of HSDIRR to come on through. Loza, if there was ever a time to step up, it would be now, but away he runs, giving HSDIRR their 11th round. I cannot believe that from Vicious. What? Are you kidding?
Wow. Some individuals really making a difference. I think that's safe to say, and my god. While we've obviously had Lear at times, Vicious, that is a stonker of a round. Nice shot though. It will fall. The dream is still alive here. Last 90 points of HP, and I think now he has to get out of dodge. Can he keep that operator in play? And I think, to be honest, that's the priority. He was trying to, as best he can, maybe make it a little bit expensive on the way out, but he could be made expensive the other way. Costly towards him. He will save it. That is good. But HSDIRR 2 rounds away from closing this map and the series out, and they're now 2 rounds ahead of the Petits Bouffons 2. Vicious, that is absolutely disgusting.
You see those with Phantoms, with a Vandal. That kind of spray transfer is wild.
Maybe you can make the argument of a little bit of fortune favors him there, but even still, that control, the mechanical prowess, stellar, stunning. The Petits Bouffons are going to call for a timeout, and to be perfectly honest, Twiggy, I do not blame them. Yeah. They are getting very close to a position where we're thinking, like, uh-oh, basically. And they have to ego in towards this as well. I mean, I think buying around the ARP would be kind of, it would be janky is probably the best way to put it. I think they've got to have money to work with towards the next. Just try and maybe play Lazar, you know, a little bit of aggro to start off the round. Maybe have a couple of dashes left in the back pocket to get a lot of dodge. And I think, once again, a priority has to be trying to keep that operator ticking over in towards round number 22.
Yeah, they're put in a very similar position that HSDIRR were put into last time, which was, do we buy up into this round and try to avoid an overtime, or do we save this time and try and, you know, get them back on overtime? In the end, HSDIRR went for the one that the Petits Bouffons aren't going for this time. They did kind of half buy up into that round and try and stem the flow of rounds coming through from the Petits Bouffons. It worked out perfectly for them. Will the opposite work out here for HSDIRR? Lazar has given up that operator for Russ, opting for the Blade Storm instead this round. Can he do much damage here? He's just going to pop it and play defensively. He's not going for anything aggressive. He's not going too attacking here. As you know, we keep harking back to Link's words saying they're not going to give any teams respect, but they have given a lot of respect to HSDIRR this time because they almost look scared. I'm not going to lie to you. Cray holding round this corner as HSDIRR walk on through. Lear gets headshot not once but twice, stays alive, manages to do a lot of damage too. Arle and Lynxy are the ones with the kills though, as Vong tries to hold down sight. He's so good with the Sheriff. He manages to get one more, and there's Lazar with that Blade Storm taking down Lear as well. Brings it to a 2v3 now, and HSDIRR, even though they had that better economy and not finding any luck, Vong with the Sheriff finds 3.
Okay, alright, maybe this story isn't done just yet. Maybe. Still a bit of life left in this. We were saying for the Petits Bouffons, you know, maybe it's a little bit of a throwaway, and we're seeing if they can keep that operator in play. Other ideas, Vong, again, another 3k for Vong. That claws around that are nothing. Individually, while his, you know, the fragging department hasn't been great, if we look at how he's been able to, you know, turn multi-kills into rounds, that's where Vong is leading the charge by such a long way. That's back-to-back 3Ks that we've seen from him that have found rounds in success for the Petits Bouffons. Individually, making quite the difference. Hunter's Fury, out of line. Will it find anything? It's looking like the answer's going to be no. Bit of information, bit of damage too.
Well, but HSDIRR, it's now their turn on that eco round. It's now their turn to see if they can take the fight to the Petits Bouffons on the lower buy. So far, going 1 for 1. Both of the, well, duelists, although Link really isn't the spear that Lazar is, are taken down. And it slows down. HSDIRR have a lot of time to work with. They know that they don't have to get too aggressive. Obviously, with that weaponry, it's probably a good idea to run in and try and get kills and try and run down the Petits Bouffons before they start to second-guess themselves, start to come in round from behind maybe and take the fight to HSDIRR. But now they're going to come on in. They give themselves a little sliver of sight to get that spike down, but it's sprayed down. You got to remember, the Petits Bouffons, they have Vandals. They can just spray that wall down. They can just make sure you don't get that. With 30 seconds left now, with the spike in hand, they need to get it on the ground if they want to get anything out of this round. Le Petits Bouffons, spray them down. 11-11, and now we're in a very similar situation to last map, but the other way around.
Yeah, we're in a very interesting position now where it's a little bit of a moment for us to take a bit of a breather. But the guarantee is that we go the full distance. It's just a question of, do we once again go towards OT? Or is it a case of one of these two sides taking it 13-11? To be honest, I don't want to make a prediction here. Fredan, you're opting towards a Phantom, but aside from that, is Vandals across the board, and Lazar in towards that operator, of course. Money is a little bit fragile. Probably won't want to put it over towards HSDIRR. If they were to fall flat here, they would have no money to work with in towards the next, which would in my eyes, sort of guarantee us going towards that third and final decider. This is the round. I hate to say it, this is the one that they have to convert if they want to stay alive. And not only do they have to convert it, they have to convert it without it being too expensive too.
I'll tell you what, this matchup, we said it could be close. This has left me speechless. Not literally, but still. Russ looking for that pick onto Lynxy. He was looking at the wall for a second there. He was ready for the kill in the end, and Russ taken down now means that, again, Le Petit Bouffons are going to find it a little more difficult to retake. They don't have a wall to work with. They have less utility on that Sentinel side. To take back that site, they obviously don't have any healing left. Vong, he's going to push up mid. He's done a lot of work so far here, but, oh, lying in wait is Lynxy, but nobody's ready for that. Vong manages to find the kill. Lear takes down Link. He's back in the server. It took a second to warm up into the attacking half, but he's getting there now. Arle takes down Vong. And now it's just Cray to try and hold things down, but he misses the shot onto Vicious, giving him an opening to get that kill. Down goes the Spike, and it's just Luzza left.
Harders doesn't play this as well. It is difficult, extremely difficult as well. Lombot to come through. Swarm grenades as well, just to try and deny that presence. Forward and Leo sealed off. And I mentioned for HSDIRR, not only do they need to find success here, but they need to make sure that it's not expensive. And that's quite perfect. 3 remaining alive means that drops can come through. And it means that this continues to tick over. But how do the other 2 overall HSDIRR invest? What's the buy going to be like coming in towards this next round? That's the question we ask ourselves. But it's map and it's series point. HSDIRR, Le Petit Bouffons need overtime. And this time, they need to convert it, and that's just the pushes towards Haven as our third and final decider. Fine margins, 2 evenly matched sides, but in map number 1, and now looking like map number 2, HSDIRR just got the slight advantage, and they will fall.
I was going to say, Le Petit Bouffons, they have ults to use. Liv has... that's a rollout. I don't know, a Valorant rollout. There he goes. Cray manages to take him out, however. And it looks like it's all but over already this round. We're going to be going to overtime. Which is wild to me. Le Petit Bouffons had 3 ults. They only used Hunter's Fury, and they didn't really use it for anything.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, a Viper Spit at the start of the round. No, nothing. Resurrection. Apparently not. That is insane. I think the Resurrection is going to come out now, and that's just going to make it even harder for Fredan to get anything out of this one, but he'll find the head of Vong at the very least. Lockdown available. Oh, but there's Showdown. Oh, my
brilliant.
God. Beautiful showstopper. Well placed.
From range. But I think you look towards that round as well. HSDIRR, the idea around that round was really poorly executed, right? They wanted to step up the pace, and I'm all for it, right? You know, step up the pace, being a little bit more aggressive. I like the idea there, but the execution was brutal. I mean, Lear didn't even get the spike down. He got sort of spooked by the one pop shot through the smoke, and then you're looking at how in which he was going to set himself up into as a post plant, and nobody was even remotely close to support him. So I don't exactly know what the idea was ever really going to be there. It was kind of I don't know, a very weird scenario to me, where I think for HSDIRR, they maybe slightly overlooked a lot of factors going in towards what was an extremely important round. And if they're unable to close out this map and we do go towards the decider, that's the round they're going to look back and think, my God, we should have done a lot better there. So, either way, now it's, of course, Le Petit Bouffons on towards that attacking side to kickstart overtime. Looking for early engagement, and turret will be dropped. They're going towards B.
Well, this is a very quick attack from Le Petit Bouffons, but Lynxy knows exactly where Luzza's going to plant there. He saw it last round. Lear, his teammate, he does that one. Immediately taken out, but Cray and Russ, they fire back with their own kills, and that does a lot of work. Fredan gets involved from Kitchen there, and Arle has his back too. Link goes down, and it is just Russ left. The Battle Sage in a 1v3. Can he get the work done? Arle sees him first. And HSDIRR once again are on the brink. All they need to do is get one more round and make sure that Le Petit Bouffons don't keep getting into this one. Le Petit Bouffons, they could extend this series. And HSDIRR, they've been expending a lot of stamina so far. Things are going to be looking a little scary for them if they go onto that last map.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it, right? Map and series. Looking good for for HSDIRR, for Le Petit Bouffons, they are in a pretty gruesome position where we're thinking, hey, maybe this is done. Maybe it's job done and dusted. And it would actually really open up the table as well, because it means there's a couple of teams now, Le Petit Bouffons both and HSDIRR sitting on 2-1, and maybe some others to join them as well. But it'd be a really interesting fight for playoffs if HSDIRR are able to take a win here, because it really just throws a spanner in the works. There's just no secure side in towards that top 3 at all, aside from Apex maybe, depending on the result later on today. So very, very spicy. HSDIRR will call for a timeout, as this time they are just going to slow things down prior to heading into what could potentially be the final round of this map, of this series, and it going in favor of HSDIRR, rather than what we saw in the final round of regulation, where there was so all over the place, no real actual plan to be executed, and just very, very chaotic, which at times, I gotta admit, has worked really well for HSDIRR, but in these sort of positions, with so much on the line, have some sort of plan formulated before heading up in towards it. Now, know exactly what it's going to be. We can take a little look. No operators in play either way, of course. It is just going to be the rifles on display and a whole host of utility as they start their presence early towards A.
Petits Bouffons, it all comes down to this last round, but Lazar is still playing aggressively, still wants to get those kills on the board. If he can get that first pick once again, it would be absolutely massive, but so far it is just a lurk from Lynxy. He's put his wall up, it's a little bit of a fake, as the rest of the team, they head towards A. Oh, maybe not. Crossing back over towards mid, they've got that orb smoke up there. They can walk on up. They can't take a lot of space before it goes back down. Lazar still holding down the B site, just making sure HSDIRR don't get him for free. At the very least, try and get a bit of value. If you get one kill and die, it's all good, it doesn't matter too much. For the team, they just need a chance. We've seen what Le Petit Bouffons can do, but this time, it's for all the beans. They need this to stay in this. And this is a massive, massive series for them. If they don't manage to win it out, that spells disaster for them in the overall standings. Vong is holding down Kitchen. Luz has already found one over towards B main. The wall goes up from Ale to give them some space, but Vong just sprays through the doorway. He finds that next kill. Lynxy takes down Cray, bringing it to a 2v4. Everything is still possible here for HSDIRR, but they've got 25 seconds left to get that spike down, and their chances, they're falling away slowly but surely. Still trying to decide what to do here. 15 seconds left in the round. They need to get that spike on the ground, but everybody is just watching this location. Vong finds the first. He's now got his Hunter's Fury. He uses it to push Lynxy into Link, and now it's 13-13.
Not done just yet. There's still life between the eyes over towards Le Petit Bouffons. Of course, they will switch sides before heading in towards this one. This is extremely spicy. We're in a position now where we're looking at Le Petit Bouffons and thinking, how do they now find the advantage in their court? How do they now turn this in their favor? And what can they do to, well, maybe improve their chances? Vong, again, in terms of someone who's been able to make a difference, that's another prime example. Just his ability to keep their presence over towards him, and of course, walking away with 3 kills, as he's already done before. That's the 3rd time now that we've seen Vong find a 3k, which is decided around him. I mean, on an individual standpoint, like I said, in terms of the fragging department, may not be running away with the numbers, but the impact has been unbelievable. A timeout call for Le Petit Bouffons to try and figure out how do they now find the difference. And say for HSDIRR, right, what is their kind of plan of action? How are they going to allow themselves to maybe activate the likes of Alair to be that difference maker, to be the impact player? It kind of feels like a bit of here and now. I mean, time is dwindling. If they want to take this 2-0, it's got to be done here. And if this goes towards Haven, that's when I start to get worried that maybe this entire series for HSDIRR goes in a bit of jeopardy.
We may have questioned it early on, but that Raze pick from Link has been working out massively. He's been filling in the gaps that Lazar has left. And I don't mean the gaps to say that Lazar has done nothing. He's definitely had a much better map this time around. But there are still gaps. And Link is able to get involved and get those kills where Lazar does miss out on them. Get involved late round where Lazar may have been taken out towards the start of the round, obviously. When you're coming up against Leah, you're going to lose a lot of those first engagements. Fredden gets pushed in immediately. At the start of the round, gets away with his life. That's all that really matters. You need to keep that Sentinel alive till the end of the round. That utility is so important here on ICEBOX especially. Russ is going to get caught out by Leia as he goes for the flank. Lazar's not ready to get that trade. Now, HSDIRR once again looking for that defensive round. They back up all the way round. They know the rest of the team is coming in towards A. They can hear that one all the way down. Link finds the first kill. Cray gets the spike down. Now, everybody has to get back on this one. You can't keep peeking one by one when your main duelist is still on the other side of the map. And Fredan realizes as he backs up. It's down to a 3v3 once again. The heal is good. But they need to take this one all together, and they need to get Lear involved with the Blade Storm. He finds one. Cray is able to take down Ale. In the meantime, it's a brilliant right click from Lear. Vong takes him down. It's a 1v1 now. Fredan just needs to find a headshot to finish this one off. He goes for the spike. He's looking for half. He gets that half. The shock dart pushes him forward, but he gets the headshot. And HSDIRR once again get to match point.
Oh my god, this game continues to impress. This game continues to just be a stunning display. And none other than Lear to make the difference. We were saying, how are they going to activate this guy? How are they going to find a way to make him come out of the line? He does exactly that. The double opener of Ross and Lazo really sets the tempo. But that third on towards Link is where it sows the seeds of doubt over towards Le Petit Bouffon in a post plant. And Fredan, nerves of steel. So impressive. And this game might, that might be the, you know, the factor that essentially sees it off, right? It's a case of who can take the first attacking round in overtime. And I hate to say they are brimming with confidence, brimming with just some brilliance. Oh my god, Lear continues just to be a nuisance. What a player, honestly, what a player. It's to be fun, I'm worried.
Russ, I don't know if it's safe to turn your back to the team. He puts up his wall. They hear the sound cue. They're not expecting him to be on their side of the wall. He gets one pick, but no more than that. And I'm afraid doing something as ballsy as that is really not good for the team, as it brings it to a 4v4 now. Linksy taken away. Your controller missing on the attacking side on ICEBOX. It's a big value. But with Lear still in the game, with Vicious still in the game, with Fredan still in the game, Ale has been fragging out as well. You can't count out anything here. Lear, his teammates have had his back this whole time, whereas Le Petit Bouffon, they've really had to lean sometimes on specific players to get rounds out of this. And that means that HSDIRR, I feel like, have the advantage when you trade 1-for-1.
I gotta agree. I really do. Link needs to be careful. That footstep could have sold him a bait there as well. Spraying through. Lear step up once again. This might be all she wrote. Twiggy, oh no. Just as I say that, Vong will find two.
With Vong still in the game, you cannot count out Le Petit Bouffon whatsoever. This man has been absolutely insane when it counts. But the spike is now down. Fredan finds one pick, and it is down to the last two players that I mentioned when I was thinking of great players for the team. So maybe it might be all up to them. Fredan finds his third. It's just Ale and Fredan versus the world. He puts down his lockdown to slow Lazar down and to stop him. Make him think about something else. But in the end, it's the shot that matters. Fredan gets his fourth. HSDIRR win the series 2-0, 15-13, 2 overtimes for the team. But they are there when it counts. They keep their cool. What a series from all of those players.
I think it's safe to say not many people would have seen that one coming. Actually, only Kremer from the talent did. I mean, it is a stunning display, and so many people stepped up when they were called upon. Of course, Lear did, as we expected, but Fredan as well. His clutch ability, unbelievable. What a game we saw, and ICEBOX just as even as Breeze, and in the same fashion, HSDIRR just able to have that little bit more consistency. I got to say, for Le Petit Bouffon, there'll be plenty of situations and times where they'll look back at that and think, how are we unable to close out that? How are we unable to see out this round or this map, and maybe even the series as well? It was so close, but no cigar.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when it comes down to 1 round, 2 rounds, you know, 1 kill, 2 kills, how many times in that first map especially did rounds come down to 1 or 2 players with 15 to 50 HP remaining make all the difference? If Le Petit Bouffon aim upwards a little bit and hit a headshot instead of a body shot, they win 5 more rounds in those. You know, if they make a slightly better decision strategically in some places, they win those rounds. And when it comes down to, you know, decisions like that, to small margins like that, you have to be kicking yourself at the end of the game. You're thinking, if I did this differently, we could have won that whole series. And the Petit Bouffon have a lot to learn from that one. They have a lot to think about. HSDIRR, on the other hand, they stepped up to the plate and more. I could not be happier for those guys, because that was insane.
It was an unbelievable showing. And I think you got to look towards Le Petit Bouffon. I mean, a lot of credit has to be given towards them as well. I think they did play stunning at times. It was just the unfortunate for them, they just couldn't overcome, I think, a lot of mental blocks over towards their side. And, well, I mean, now we look towards what is going to be a very interesting table overall, where we're thinking how things have changed, how the tides have, you know, turned here, right? We're in a position now where this whole table goes up in complete jeopardy, because there's a couple of teams that are sitting on 2-1. There's a couple of teams we'd maybe expect to be fighting in towards that playoff position. It's going to make it really interesting towards the latter part of the season. We'll look at the scoreboard overall. Lynx had a fantastic showing. For him, 258 ACS, 24 kills, 1.5 KDA. Lear just in behind as well with 255 and a 1.4 KDA. And Vong, I was saying at times his numbers may not have looked fantastic, but his clutch ability was great. And his ability to pull a multi-kills, and towards the latter stages, it was really only Vong who was so consistently putting up frags.
Yeah, and I hate to be harping on this fact. Sometimes a duelist has a bad day. I don't want to be, going like, oh, Luzzy, you're not doing well enough, blah, 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 blah. It is what it is. Sometimes you just don't have a great day. You have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders as a duelist. You need to get opening picks. You need to be winning against the other duelists and shutting them down. Luzzy just didn't quite have what it took over Lear in that series. I really do hope he comes back as strong as ever on the next series, because we expect a lot out of this guy. 300 ACS so far. That's going to be going way down, but in the next series I hope to not see him dejected by that loss. Just come back headstrong. We've seen you be confident before. That's all I need to see in the next series there.
Exactly. We do have an interview as well. We're going to have Vicious joining us as we get to kind of pick the brains off the back of what was a fantastic performance. So first of all, mate, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations as well. I mean, that was a close game, to say the least. I mean, you guys really ground out some tough rounds. What were the conversations like, when you're going towards overtime? How were you guys able to kind of just be that tad better?
I don't know. I felt like going into this series, I really felt like we knew we were going to win. I feel like we were very confident going into it. But, we always have to play from losing pistols, and that's always really difficult. We're losing all the pistols, so, but we have... just a good mentality all the time, like never give up. So,
yeah. Tell me about your aim training routine, because look, that little spray transfer up onto upper from I don't know how you were in such a open position as well. What are the thought processes when you go in and try and find positionings in a post plant? What led you to that kind of situation? A lot of times you had players out in weird locations. Is there something you guys think, a mental game where you try and get into somewhere that they wouldn't expect, or is there something else going on there?
I think the call was to fight on site there. So we all were swinging off the wall, and then I just Freiburg 3 people. That's it.
Love to
make it sound so easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I want to ask as well for you guys, what is the preparation like coming in towards a game like this? Because Petits Bouffons, of course, I don't think there's that much known on them apart from the beacon stuff. I've already seen them get 2 wins under their belt. What do you guys do in terms of preparing for a game like this, or is it more of a case of focusing on yourself and working on your own game?
I think we mixed up the vetoes a little bit. I feel like we thought that they might think we pick Pearl, so we wanted to pick ICEBOX and surprise them a little bit. So the vetoes went kind of in our favor, and I think that's really the only thing we think about. Other than that, we just try to play our game and talk a little bit before about how we want to approach the maps, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, the ICEBOX pick for me, I really did not see that, especially on this side. I was like, Pearl, they've done so well on it. Obviously, Arley did an incredible job on KO on Pearl. Yesterday, I was thinking definitely they're going to pick that. When I saw that ban come through, that was really that was something different for me. So I'm loving that counterplay in terms of not just, going into this one thinking, Le Petit Bouffon, we know we can beat them, we're going to come in and get that done, but also the counterplay in terms of strategy. So I'm glad you guys have that kind of, strategic mindset over just go in, get stuff done. It's not a pug team game. We're really competing here. So, completely congrats on that series. That is amazing. The 2-0 victory over Le Petit Bouffon, changing the dynamics of the standings completely. So well done, mate.
Thank you.
All right, well, that's that for that series. I just can't believe that.
What a game.
That whole
Honestly.
series, all the way throughout, so tight.
Yeah, both of those, they were inseparable, right? This is the narrative that we built all the way through, and I think that might be the case for the season as well. When we look towards how the standings end overall, I think we then will come back to games like this and be like, well, what happens if Le Petit Bouffon were able to take this? This could really have some long-term implications to how things end up overall. So, it's really been a stunning showing. What a game, what a 2-0, and a bit of a marathon of a 2-0 as well, back-to-back overtime, but We absolutely love it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to throw this one to a break. When we are back, we can start preparation stages for game number 2 of the evening. It's 2 cars taking on Apex. We'll see you in just a moment.